How to make a modern green kitchen in The Sims. So I had this problem where I wanted to make a modern kitchen, but with the packs that I own, I really didn't find anything sleek and with gold adornments, so I decided to make my own cabinets. In my case, this required the tool mod, high school years, and the home chef hustle pack, but you can really use this with any items that you like. So at first I tried Schnook's method of making a modern kitchen where you kind of flip the cabinets, but I really didn't like how the vampire cabinets looked, so I decided to instead raise the items from the basement. The first thing that I'm doing is putting in the counters and the cabinets where I actually want them functioning in the kitchen, and then I go ahead and do that exact same thing inside the basement and making sure that they're going to align with each other. And then I add in the Luxe corner cubby from high school years. You can use any item that you like. And I flipped it backwards so that it was more solid, and I elevated that with the tool mod until it was above ground, and I just double checked that it's above ground, and I keep messing with the elevation until I get it exactly where I want it. And once I get it where I want it, I just keep note of the values that I use so that I can just type it in once, and I do that for every single cabinet. For the top cabinets, you want to do the same thing where you rotate it to the solid side. I forgot to do that here, so I end up doing it a little bit later. You're also going to rotate it 180 degrees so that the legs end up on the top. You want those to be touching the roof. And then you're also going to do the same thing where you just keep elevating. What I do is I keep a little sticky note saying I elevated it 2, I elevated it 1, I elevated it -0.2, and just see what value I end up with, because that will just let me paste in the value that I should elevate it to immediately. I used the bars of gold for the handles here, so what I did is I flipped them and then I elevated them and rotated them -90 degrees in order to get them to be vertical. I would leave the cabinet so that you can know where you want your handles to go instead of just guessing. Once everything's in place, I'm gonna change the lighting in the basements. I'm gonna mess with the tints and go back up to the kitchen and see how the different lightings affect the color of my cabinets. I really like the dark green look, so I just left it at a green light and I just changed the slider to closer to black. And then this is what it looks like when I use red lighting and mess with their opacities and different colors of the cubby. I used the same trick for the carpet and pillows in the living room, and I really liked how this house turned out. If you use this method, feel free to tag me. I really want to see what type of rooms people come up with this method. I've definitely seen a lot of creators showing how you can raise things from the basement. I'd love to see more ways that we can make more unique items without CC and using the packs that we already have without having to buy new ones. Feel free to comment if you follow a specific creator's tutorial. I'd love to try out different methods of customizing my builds more.